How many teams have reached out to you?
Not one.
Nobody.
The networks. Now, well, they would have to reach out to the Saints. And look, you know this. You can have a backdoor. Hey, would you have any interest? That's happened maybe with a couple clubs, but I'm not looking at that path right now.
But you have had teams back channel, third party.
The two. When I say that, all I'm saying is somebody who's close to someone, man, you'd be really good here. This is only, we're 24 or 48 hours removed from it, and that's not my plan.
That's not my plan. We have no intent to trade Percy Harvin. Look, plans change. And Peter, later he was asked, Dan, because Dan's great. He'll keep trying to get it out of you. Asked if it was the Bears and the Cowboys that reached out through intermediaries, not the Bears and the Cowboys. And we know how this stuff happens. We were just talking about it. Back channel things happen all the time. If I'm Jerry Jones, because the thinking is he'll go after Sean Payton next year. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm doing it now for a couple of reasons. One, and look, I say this with full acknowledgement that I will feel the same way as I am closing in on 80. If I'm closing in on 80, I ain't waiting a year to do anything that I want to do now. I'm doing it now. Whatever it is, whatever's on the bucket list, bucket's getting closer, I'm getting it crossed off while I can. Second of all, once Sean Payton gets a taste of the kind of money that he can make in the media, with the reduced amount of time and stress and overall wear and tear on your body at age 58 that coaching does, and, the Bill Cowher effect, like, hey, I kind of like this. I mean, Sean Payton could possibly make more money in the media than he's made as a coach with the Saints, even though he's one of the top three paid coaches in the NFL.
I doubt that.
Okay, talk to Pat McAfee about it. I look, the world's changed, Peter.
Well, okay,
the world's changed.
That's $30 million. How many people for 1 year or 2 years? Because what TV entity right now is paying Sean Payton $10 million for 1 year? Or
$10 million for 1 year?
For 1 year.
Well, look, here's the reality, though.
It's not happening.
And I know Sean aspires to work games, and I think he'd be great at working games. But you know what else he'd be great at?
Yeah.
He'd be great doing this for 3 hours a day. He did a 90-minute press conference the other day, and not once did I say, well, this guy shut the hell up, please. Not once. Right. And you've talked to him. I've interviewed him. He's a great teacher, and he loves to teach people about football. And he's acutely aware of the allure of a guy like a John Madden who made football accessible and understandable. Now, Madden did it in the sliver of time that was available to him between plays, but the world's different now. The world, there wouldn't have been an opportunity for John Madden to have 1, 2, 3 hours to talk about what happened the prior week. Could you imagine? And look, I'm not interested in inviting any competition here, but I don't care. I think he'd be great at it. I want it to help inform my understanding of the way the game works. The morning after the Cowboys-49ers game, could you imagine Sean Payton breaking it down for 2 hours? Everything that went right, everything that went wrong. Breaking down that final 14 seconds, moment by moment, frame by frame. Here's what you do. Here's what you did right. Here's what you did wrong. And he can do that immediately. He knows immediately when he's watching a game, here's what they did wrong. Here's what they need to do differently. And my point is this. The cash has fallen from the sky. It dawned on me watching his press conference the other day, the mic flag in front of him, Caesars logo. The sports books are throwing money at people. Tony Romo's making almost $20 million a year to call games. You got the McAfee deal at $30 million a year. Regardless of whether it's a hard 30 or it's 15 plus incentives, whatever it is, it's big money. And Peyton's in the range of 15 to 20, well, was in the range of 15 to 20 with the Saints once you account for all the other ways that they funnel money to these folks in order to hold the official numbers down so the market stays down for coaches. That's what they've been doing for years. I digress. But there's a way he can cobble together something that, dollar for dollar, hour for hour, my point is this. After a year of it, going back to coaching may not seem as attractive to Sean Payton because I got a better life now. And I don't have to carry around this baggage of some official with his head up his butt or a weird bounce of the ball or a rogue gust of wind or some other thing that removes from my control whether or not my football team wins games and whether or not I ultimately get fired.
What makes you think, and nothing that you said is wrong, but there's two things that you are assuming, okay? One is that Sean Payton is going to get on TV for 2 hours and he is going to roast some coach for a bad decision he made on Sunday. That
he did it yesterday.
Is something.
He did it yesterday.
Mike, it's not, I'm just saying that every week, if you did this job, you would have to be willing to burn some people who are your friends to be really, really good. Okay? Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't do that. I don't know. But I'm saying you're assuming that he would do that. And if he would do that, then even if it's only for 1 year, I would pay him 10 or 12 million bucks. Okay? But you're also assuming that he is going to be what Bill Cowher was. And I think Bill Cowher basically is a unicorn. He left the Steelers at whatever, 49 or 50. And deep down inside, although he knew he would listen, I think he knew that he might have had enough at that point. Sean Payton does not think at age 58 that he has had enough. I can tell you this. You can tell you this. And who knows? Maybe times change, feelings change. But Sean Payton wants another bite at the apple. He wants another chance to take a different team to win a Super Bowl. He really wants that. 1 or 2 years out, and then we'll see. And look, things could change. You're right about that. But I'd say right now, easy 70-30 that he wants to coach one more team.
The coaches who have won a Super Bowl with one team are acutely aware of the fact that no one has ever taken two teams to the top of the mountain. No one. So whoever does it first may not be the last, but will be the first. And the coaches who have that one Super Bowl championship, or more than one with one team, are very aware that no one's ever done it with a second team. And I think he would very much like to do that as of right now. My point is, times change, circumstances change, life changes, and he may get to a point where he recognizes, I really like taking the knowledge of a lifetime of coaching and using it to educate, entertain, inform people in a way that is accessible and understandable. It's not littered with jargon. He's not going to feel the need to impress his friends in the coaching industry by saying double A gap and cross the face over and over again. He would explain it as if he were talking to his mother about it, like John Madden did. That's what made John Madden great. He was able to take something inherently complicated and make it simple. And I think Payton would do that in a longer form setting that would be interesting and compelling and lucrative. That's all. My point is this, Jerry, if you want this guy, don't assume he's going to want to come back and work for you next year or the year after. If you want him, now's the time to peel off some of that super yacht maintenance money and offer it to Sean Payton. Make him an offer he can't refuse.
You know what I don't want to do?
He won't refuse, and hire him now.
No. I'll tell you why I don't want to do that at all. You know why? Because Sean Payton doesn't want to do it right now. How many times does he have to say, I want a year or two to myself? So, if Jerry Jones fires Mike McCarthy tomorrow and says, Sean, here's $20 million, what's he going to do? He's going to take the job. And you know what he's going to say when he sits in the Star? Not the first day, not the second day, because he'll say, oh, this is great. When he finally sits down to do the job, to hire a staff, to do the job, you know what he's going to say? F, what have I done? You know why, Mike? Because some things right now are more important than money. They really are. And to Sean Payton, he needs to get away from this for a little while, to breathe and to have a life. And if you force him to go coach this year, which is what Jerry Jones would be doing, I don't think it would end well.
Well, I suspect that Jerry Jones has a long history of persuading people to do things they really don't want to do, but successfully getting them to do it anyway.
How has that worked out, other than with Jimmy Johnson? How has that worked out?
Well, no, I'm talking about...
Did he ever win with Parcells?
I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about the billions that he's amassed in business, that he's convinced people to do things they don't want to do.
Forget about the billions.
I know,
football.
but my point is this. My point is...
It's a big mistake.
I'm not saying it's smart. All I'm saying is if he ever wants him, if he ever wants him, this may be his only chance to get him. So if there's a chance he isn't going to get him in a year or two because Sean Payton's making damn good money and enjoying his life and even more hardened in his feeling. Because Peter, he said it himself, I don't plan to coach. That's not an accident. He said that over and over again. I don't plan to coach. He didn't say, no way, no how, I'm definitely taking this year off. There's no way I'm coaching. He said, I don't plan to coach. And he's smart enough to send the message. We're smart enough to pick up on the message. When he says plan, that means plans can change.
Yes, they can. And it would be a mistake. It would be a big mistake. That's all I'm telling you. Because he doesn't want to do it right now. He doesn't want to. So I don't ever want to go into a job where I say, I'm taking this because of money. I mean,
I do.
He's got, you know what? It's not the right way to go into this job. Listen, cast your fate to the wind for a year or two. See what happens. See how high you can make this media thing go. And then when you're ready to go back, you're going to have 10 teams throwing a job at you. Take your choice in 2023 or 24. But right now, enjoy yourself. Get away from football a little bit. And I just think it's a big mistake if money or something else would force him to go back in, because he does not want to go back in right now.
I don't disagree with that, but again, plans can change, and there's a certain amount. And I've said this before as it relates to like college coaches, like a Nick Saban. During that period of time where he really, even now, I think the window's long closed on it, but there was a point 5 or 6 years ago where, this is simple. There was a report, I remember Jim Irsay was going to go big name hunting. There's a number that you put on the table that gets Nick Saban to leave Alabama. There's a number. There's a number that he can't say no to. At a certain point, you stack up enough money, and he'll do it. The question is, how much are you willing to devote to a coach? And I've said this many times this week, Peter. Jared Goff's making $33.5 million a year. Bill Belichick is somewhere between $20 and $25 million. What's wrong with this picture? Coaches are far more valuable than what they get paid, and that's part of what I believe is a not-so-subtle effort by the NFL to hold it down. There's no salary cap and there's no salary floor when it comes to coaching pay. But dollar for dollar, impact on what a team can do. And again, as we see more and more of this gambling money get injected into the NFL, we're going to see somebody make a huge offer to somebody who would otherwise rather not coach, but is going to decide to do it anyway.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.